As usual, I want to show you some of the things that I like right off the bat on the outside. Now, a lot of us have had the whole outdoor kitchen situation, and it hasn't really worked out. But I can see this really working because, number one, it's right next to the door where you're going to be entertaining people. And two, putting this outdoor refrigerator, portable DC refrigerator, might I add, I think is a really good idea. Plus, there's an extra table here on the side. I don't know what this is for yet. I'm assuming you could put a sink, or you could probably do a few different things with it. This beautiful rig, the Contour, is built on a Ford Transit chassis. And you can see they've got nice running boards. They did really nice tires and rims on this. But come on, I want to show you around the other side. First thing you're going to notice when you come around to this side is that big old box on the top. Just ignore that for now. We'll get into that in a minute. I want to talk about, though, that Starlink satellite dish back there. Now, that is one of those ones you can use while you're traveling around all the time. Those are nice. Another thing I want to point out, which is kind of an important thing, you know, when you're boondocking in a smaller vehicle like this, is where are you going to dump your dump, right? So they actually have a cassette toilet you can pull out, which has been a very popular option here lately. On top of that, we're also looking at a 2800 awning generator that you can power the rig with, but it has its own batteries as well. Then you step back here and you got your water bay. Everything's in one spot and sealed. Now, little nitpick, something I could see being a problem for years is trying to get in here and get your sewer hose attached or spray hose. That probably could have been a little bit better, but we're good. This is nice. Filtration system, and you got your Nautilus system there. Now, you step back to the back here. Now, you remember we were looking at the EKKO the other day, and they had a very similar setup. Now, this actually sports multiple doors here that you can come around and put any kind of storage back here. If you got a small enough canoe or bikes, e-bikes maybe, and there's 12 volt and power back here, which is kind of neat because this is now your e-bike charging bay. So when you come back at night, load them up in here, plug them in, let them charge. They're secure, and you have a charging area for them. Before I move on any further, I do want to point out some of the capacities on this rig. One of the first things that we saw here is it's got a 53-gallon freshwater capacity. Our fifth wheel only holds 45 gallons of fresh water, so you got more than enough that you need in here. There's also a 51-gallon gray water capacity. Now, that's kind of interesting because normally you don't get that in the same coach. And then black tank, well, it's a cassette, remember? So you're only going to get about 5 gallons in that, but you can just pull it out and pretty much take it to any public toilet to use. The rig itself has a GCWR of 15,000 pounds and a GVRW of 11,000 pounds. And the wheelbase is 156 inches, and overall, it's 22 foot, 11 inches long. Now, let's go over here. All right, so now we're on the front side of this beautiful rig. This is the other side of that pass-through door that we were talking about just a second ago. Your propane, however, is located right here. You can put one 20-pound propane tank, possibly enough room for 30. I'm going to have to find out on that. Now, we're going to take you back to the main entranceway and door here. Got automated steps that come in and out. But if you look up above me, you can see that rack there. This is actually a full awning, automatic awning with LED. Now, let's go inside and check out the inside. Okay, guys, I do want to point out here that we are filming at the 2024 Florida RV SuperShow, and they're still setting up. So, unfortunately, we don't have the lights on in here yet. We're going to do the best we can to try to fix that, but please bear with us. Now, once again, we're in a Ford Transit van. You can see the beautiful design up here in the front with that tablet to give you a nice infotainment center. But then as you step back, you're going to see that you've got ample storage here in the front, which is nice to have. Now, looking straight above my head, and I wish we could pop this up right now so I can show you, but it's actually a pop top, which will give you the ability to have an additional bed on the top of the roof. So if you're traveling with people, great. Okay, now look at this. We're in a Class C van. We have a very interesting dinette setup here that you could swing this around and have a full U-shaped dinette in a Class C van. This also turns around to give you additional seating as well. Okay, now moving back into the kitchen, you're going to see that we have that typical round sink that you can wash your dishes and clean up. A nice little wooden cutting board to give you some more space. The convection and microwave oven, as well as storage along that. Storage below the cabinets here, you can see. And, of course, your button and push-out drawers here, so you can lock them in there. There's also storage on this side of the RV. Now, Come this way. Day and night shades on all the windows. Very nice feature to have. We're going to come back a little bit here. Now, you'll see over here that we actually have a wet bath. We know that we are not a fan of wet baths. However, this is a decent size one that you could probably use without many problems whatsoever. Now, you'll see on this side, we have a 12-volt fridge, which is decent size, all things considered. Stepping up here to the top. Once again, like I said before, if you're in the doghouse, you can split beds on each side, or you can set this up so you can have an entire full bed across. Windows on each side, and then storage right here in the back with plugs to be able to plug in your phones. And look at that right there, hidden in that cabinet. That is a Starlink router for the Starlink dishes on the top. So you'll be able to have internet anywhere you go with that system.